Hello, Ali.
Hi, David. I'm Ali Ahmad, and this is my friend David Prendergast. We are both private practice clinicians. We have various experience in working with gay men, and today our little talk will feature on gay men and aging, and we have been sponsored by Trojan, who have sent us products that we can share with you. You can have a look at them. And happy Pride, everybody. This is Pride programming, and this is the most wonderful warm month of the year, so enjoy yourselves. So, David, how are you doing?
I'm good, Ali. It's really good to be here. I've been in private practice now for 5 years. It's hard to believe. It's gone very quickly. I work with a number of people, only adults. I'll work with couples and have worked with gay men and gay couples in the past. And I think this is a really interesting topic to be talking about. And just gay men and older gay men and their sexuality. I think it's really important.
Absolutely, it is. And I work with all ages, right from 18 to I've had people in their 70s, and it's been the talk kind of hovers around sex. And as a therapist, I kind of sometimes tease it out and make the client more comfortable to talk about sex so that we can treat it as a topic and not have an elephant in the room.
Yeah, I think it's really important, Ali. I like to come from a really sex positive perspective.
Absolutely.
I think it brings happiness to our lives when we can have active, healthy sex lives. And when I meet with people, it's great to help them feel comfortable when they talk about their sexuality, and to know that there's not going to be any judgment. And that, of course, regardless of our age, we want to be experiencing our lives in a sexual way. I think it's really important.
Absolutely. And a lot of clients that we see are from the baby boom generation, right? Born in 1945 to 64, and as I have kind of looked in literature, they are the generation that have reinvented their lives. They have kind of defined who they are, and they want to be proud of their sexuality. Right?
Yeah, that's my experience as well, Ali. That people, when they get to a certain age, they're not going to be questioning what they want to do sexually, and they almost have a confidence that they know what they'd like to do sexually, and they go and they get it. And regardless if they're in a relationship or not, I think it's really interesting for them to be able to come and speak frankly about how they feel about their sexuality. An interesting thing that I find is that if someone's been actively sexual all their life, just because they're getting older doesn't mean that changes.
Absolutely.
They continue to have the same kind of sex life that they've always had.
So how do you create a positive environment for your clients to be talking about a topic like sex?
Yeah. When I first meet with a client, I like to do an assessment, and when I do that assessment, it's kind of I want to get a well-rounded view of the person that I'm working with. So many different things, what their home life is like, what they do for relaxation, what they do for entertainment, what are the important things, if they have a spiritual side of their life, what that looks like, exercise, just what their life looks like. And then when I get that information, I like to talk to them about their sexuality. Like, is it important to them? Is it active? What does it look like for them? And is that something that they want to talk about in the therapy that we do together?
Absolutely. I work in mental health, and many times the topic comes because people are taking certain medications, and there are some sexual side effects.
Right.
So clients will volunteer that information. So I usually use that as a way to ask them about their sexual needs, and what are they missing, what the change has been in their life with these medications, and we can then talk about how to mitigate that and how to enhance your the part of your sex life that you have that you're feeling is not there anymore.
Yeah.
So that's something that I use, and it's usually creates that environment. I think creating that environment for your client to be able to talk freely about any topic is very, very important, and that's something as psychotherapists we do. So creating that place of safety where the client feels safe, and of course assuring the client of their confidentiality.
Ali, you're making a very good point there. When a client comes and they're talking about their sexuality with us, it may be the first time they've ever done that with a professional. And I think it opens the door for them to have those kind of conversations with other medical professionals. So your example of someone who's taking medication for their mental health needs, to be able to go and talk to their doctor and say, this is having a negative impact on my sexuality, that you can work with your doctor to see if there's something that can be done about that.
Absolutely wonderful. You're creating that environment of confidence, of safety, giving your client the confidence to be able to talk about sex and any other sensitive topic that they feel they haven't talked about, and to bring it out and talk to another person is in itself liberating. I think it really puts clients at ease. There's a feeling of trust that they can trust this professional, and we can then see that the client kind of loosens up. They feel more complete, more confident talking about these topics to us.
Yeah, I think the other piece around that is like how one of the rewards of working with people in this kind of environment is to see them relax and to be able to hear them say what they've been wanting to say to someone for a long time. There's real value, and it's very helpful when someone can speak what they've been thinking about. To have another human being hear what's important to them is very helpful to them.
Certainly. And in my practice, I see men who are coming out, and there are men who are reinventing themselves after a relationship ends, or looking for more partners or different ways of having sex, and looking at different sexual needs with different age as you age. So the topic is very, very vast. There's lots of clients and lots of topics to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I like something that you've always said, Ali. Just because someone ages, it doesn't mean their sex life changes. The sex life they've always had throughout their life is going to continue regardless of their age. If they had a very active, busy sex life when they were younger, when they're older, they'll continue that. It's not something you turn a certain age and okay, I guess that's over. I think it continues throughout our whole lives.
As human beings, as sexual beings, I think we continue to evolve.
Absolutely.
Our tastes change, our preferences change. In the early part of our lives, sometimes we are questioning important topics like gender or our sexuality, but sometimes these topics can also be approached later in life when you feel you have the space, you're out of your oppressive family environment, or out of a relationship that was stopping you from pursuing who you truly are. I think that process continues throughout our lives.
Absolutely. If not now, when?
If not now, when?
So in stage of life, it's if someone is retiring from their work, or maybe a partner has passed away, those are monumental changes in someone's life, and their sexuality is going to be impacted by that. And I have people that I work with, and they want to talk about, well, what will their life be like during retirement? And it's a freedom, I think, for some people. It's a chance where they don't have some of the stresses that they once had while they were working, and makes them available to go and explore their sexuality or their eroticism that they haven't had the opportunity to explore because of just their busy lives. And if there's a situation where a partner's died and they've had a close, intimate relationship where that's the only place that they were experiencing their sexuality, like that can be pretty scary. Like, what's going to happen now?
I was going to say to you that major life changes like retirement or starting a new job or taking a pause and then starting something new can be both a frightening or a liberating experience. And in this case, having a psychotherapist and talking to a psychotherapist is really, really helpful because they can guide you through that journey, and you have kind of a sounding board to first of all voice those fears, and then have somebody to guide you through that journey while you're at it. And as you said correctly, it's retirement, or could be liberating, could be an opportunity to explore yourself sexually, or any other interest that you have never had the time for during the work life. And in the same way, it could be frightening because some people feel, what next? And how am I going to explore all those sexual fantasies that I've been harboring for so many years, but I don't have the strength or the energy that I used to as a young man.
Right. And is it possible to even explore them?
Absolutely.
And I think that, it's creating an environment where you can have those kinds of conversations, and to maybe in some situations it's problem solved. So how can I get those needs met, and what's available to me? And to share that with someone that's going to help you do that, it can be a very helpful process to go through.
Absolutely. Very necessary. And I think developing that relationship with your psychotherapist, so that you can come back for sessions at any time of your life to revisit what you had, the work that you had done before, and to start new topics and new avenues of exploration.
Yeah. You touched on this earlier. Confidentiality is really important.
Absolutely.
And I think by creating an environment where someone can just come and tell another human being something that they've never told anyone else before is very helpful, right? And this is a place where people can do that. And I think it's important.
Although less nowadays, but you see, there's still that stigma of being gay, of living a life that is different from a lot of the family or people you grow up with, and having a trusted friend in your therapist helps certainly explore those issues. And you need to kind of reestablish your relationship in trust with people when you feel that your close family is not really supporting you in these matters.
Yeah. I don't know if you find this, but I find when people come in, they talk to me about certain topics, that once they talk to me, they find it easier to open up and talk to other people in their
Absolutely,
lives.
because it's like a role play.
Yeah.
It's like a role play in a safe place. They talk to us, and then they can go out into the world with more confident to be able to confront these issues, because they are now more in perspective.
Yeah.
Right? They've been thought out.
Have you ever had the experience where someone comes in and they're kind of nervous to tell you something? They actually vocally tell you it, and they go, wow, that wasn't that bad. That was easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yes, and then you just look at them that, it's not that difficult, but you appreciate how much effort it took for them to actually say these things.
Absolutely.
And we still have people telling us that those first few words, regardless of their age, I'm gay, or I am in a relationship, yet I realize that I'm gay, or I want to explore bisexuality at this stage of my life.
Right. And to have an environment where there's not judgment, and that it's a professional kind of relationship where people can sort of voice those concerns, and if they want to take action with them, that they have an opportunity when they go out and live their lives where they can take some action and make the changes that they want to make.
Oh, absolutely. So the pandemic has really it's such a curveball, and we see that people are accessing mental health services even more. It's on one hand, it's good that we have a lot of work on our hands, but it also is stressing for us, because we want to help as many people as we possibly can. And we see that people are accessing so much more in mental health services, talking about sexual issues. The pandemic has shifted a lot of relationships, and how relationships used to function prior to the pandemic. For example, partners kind of had a different relationship, and now A lot of people are spending more time at home. The kids are sometimes at home. They're not able to find the time and opportunity to have sex, which they would enjoy before. And then some people are finding a lot of opportunity and free time for that, and then they say, "Okay, let's think of something else. Let's think of changing how our relationship is." And a lot of monogamous relationships are becoming non-monogamous relationships, and things are happening in the world. Things are changing.
Whatever works for each couple, or the people that are having sex with each other. I think there hasn't been one area that hasn't been impacted by the pandemic. All the work that I've been doing has been done remotely, so video or on the telephone. And I think I'm very hopeful things are going to open up soon, and that we'll be meeting with people back in our offices again. And that's just such rewarding work to do it in person.
Absolutely.
Such special work. And the pandemic has made it difficult for some people to find that space in their homes when they live with a number of different people to have those very important conversations. But it is possible if, to do it by phone or do it by video. And I think, we've all been stuck together, and so a lot of people have been with their partners 24/7, and to be able to open it up so they're out doing other things and then come back and bring energy into relationships and create that sexual excitement that maybe you don't have if you've been with someone 24/7.
That spark, creating that spark in that relationship, absolutely. And you have to have that candlelit dinner at home now.
Yes, exactly. It's the same thing every day. So I think there are challenges with the pandemic, but we're going to get through it and give people an opportunity, if they want to go and see a therapist, that they could see them in person and have those conversations that they haven't been able to have with people.
Wonderful. Thank you. I just want to add, is there anything else you want to add specifically about gay males? And
yeah, I think it's really important at the point I made earlier that, someone's sexual, the way they are sexually in their life when they're young doesn't really change when they're older. They're still going to be sexual beings, and they're still going to be wanting to have that kind of connection with other people. And I think that's, it's not something that when we get to a certain age, we're going to have to leave that behind. And the literature is showing us that people, baby boomers especially, are wanting to have much more active sexual lives. And they've been on the cusp of many changes. That's one of the characteristics of baby boomers. They've worked longer. They've been involved in things that they've wanted to be involved in.
They've enjoyed better health.
Yeah.
They've seen changes in health. They've seen changes around them, and they define themselves. It's as one of the literature that we were looking at, baby boomers say that they are not just having sex. Sex is who they are.
Yeah.
It defines their lifestyle.
Yeah, and it brings them happiness, which sort of makes sense. It's something surprising that we find that interesting, right?
It is interesting. It is surprising for us. Sex is a wonderful and liberating experience, and I really want to thank Pride Toronto for providing us an opportunity to talk about this very important topic. And Pride belongs to everybody, and gay seniors are a part of it. And we wish you all a happy Pride. Thank you.
Happy Pride, everyone. And I want to thank Ali. It's been a pleasure to talk to you today.
It's been a pleasure to talk to you, David. It's been wonderful.
It's always good to talk about sex. And our clients find that too.
Thank you so much.